Oh, Hive. I didn't see you there. This is Tom Rylance, and this is Hive Magazine.
Hi, my name is Sam Land, and I'm here with Thom from the Lottery Winners, and we're here to talk all things KOKO and their incredible rise to success. Thom, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for saying that I've had a rise to success.
You
I didn't
have.
realise.
I think
Has
you
that
have.
happened? Is
It
this
has.
success?
This is success.
In the back room of Liverpool Academy. Talking to Hive.
Fair enough.
No, I feel very successful. You've got microphones and everything.
Let's start with the basic question, get it out of the way. New album, KOKO. What can you tell us about it? What's different this time?
Oh, well, it's all different songs to the last one. 12 different ones.
God.
And, it depends how deep you want to get into it, mate. If you want to talk about the themes of the album, it's a lot to do with me getting diagnosed with ADHD and all the feelings that came around that, because although I kind of knew I had it anyway and everybody else did, when I got the formal diagnosis, it brought all these weird feelings to me, like a release of guilt from my shoulders from all the things that I experienced and went through as a kid, but also this like mourning period of, well, why didn't anyone tell me that I had that and why wasn't I supported? But if you don't want to get too deep into it, it's also very catchy and the songs are pretty good, and there's even one with a dance.
There's also one with Chad Kroeger on there, and I'll get deeper into that in a little bit. But you mentioned then about your ADHD diagnosis. I want to touch a bit more on that. How does that like manifest when you're creating music, or even when you're performing?
I don't know, because I've only ever been me, so I don't really know what it's like to not have it, but I suppose I get really focused on stuff, and I kind of be a bit naughty on stage, and I think people kind of like that. I just go off on one a little bit, but I've never not had it, so I don't know. I've got no reference point for not having it.
Yeah.
You tell me. Have you seen me?
I've seen you. This is my 10th time seeing you tonight.
Well, what do you how do you think the ADHD affects it?
I think you're just very charismatic on stage, and in between songs, you just sort of ramble, but in the best way possible.
I agree.
Like
very
you
charismatic.
get on with like really nice anecdotes, like between songs, and I think they're really good.
Although Dave, our manager, we said we had to cut a song out of the set because we were running over. So we cut a 3-minute song out of the set yesterday, and then I talked for 9 minutes before the song where we'd cut it out, like where the gap was. I just talked for 9 minutes, which we could have played that song 3 times.
What song did you cut out?
We cut out Meaning of Life.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, rubbish.
If there's any song you cut out, it's Meaning of Life. Not to be horrible. Anyway.
They're all brilliant, so it makes it very
difficult.
difficult.
I would have had issue with it, but
you can't cut out a hit.
much better as a banger. Anyway, we mentioned before, obviously, there's Chad Kroeger on this new album, but you've also worked with acts like Shed 7, Boy George, Shaun Ryder in the past. What's it like to... I don't want to say you're a new band, because you've been performing for over a decade at this point.
Yeah.
But still early on, you want your third official album being released. What's it like to have some of these big names on your records?
It's pretty overwhelming. I feel like in a very privileged position to be able to ask these people and for them to say yes. I think that's, quite mind-blowing. Especially people like Chad, who's like literally a full-on rock star, and he's somebody that I watched on TV growing up when I was like a young kid watching Kerrang on telly, and How You Remind Me was on the every third song. To work with him and see the way his brain works, and I wrote a song and I presented it to him and he loved it, and to get that kind of affirmation from somebody who's so successful and who is obviously very brilliant at what he does, it felt nice. It made me feel like a proper songwriter.
Nice. You obviously got a chance to tour with Nickelback last year, but you've also toured with Rick Astley a couple of months before that.
Very different tours, them too.
You're going on tour with Robbie Williams in a couple of months' time, playing stadiums across Europe.
Yeah,
What's it like to be able to do stuff like that?
It's crazy, man. Like, all these opportunities keep coming, and we just keep grabbing them with both hands, horns. Well, we grab him.
Grab the bull by the horns.
We
grab
Robbie by his horns and said, yes, we will absolutely come and play stadiums with you. And Robbie's become like a friend and a mentor, really. Like, Robbie Williams is my therapist. And he'll ring me and we'll have long chats and we'll catch up and he'll give me advice. And it's amazing to be in the position where somebody Robbie Williams has done everything that I want to do. Like, whatever the opposite is of Team You, he's that version of me. Do you know what I mean? Like,
He is good.
he's the successful version, so I get to ask him questions all the time. I ask him everything, like, Robbie, how long do I put this pizza in the oven? What is fan-assisted meaning? How do I know if I've got it?
Hey, I can't operate an oven, so
No, I don't know
worry
what I'm
about
doing
it.
with that, mate. I'm too impatient. 12 minutes? Pff,
I just turn it
I'll
on,
get
put it
an
in
Uber
over the
Eats.
best. I'm not died yet. Outside of music as well, you're pretty active on social media, telling stories of your sort of rise to success in the early stages of the band. You're recently up for an award as well for Influencer of the Year.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know I was an influencer, but perhaps I am.
Mate, neither was I. I was up for the same award. I didn't know I was an influencer.
Oh, are we both up for the same
We were
award?
both up for the same
Oh,
award,
that's
yeah.
unfortunate for you, innit?
Yeah, I mean, none of us got through to the top six, mate.
I'm
I
really
think we're
sorry,
both
mate.
alright.
I'll let you have a look at the trophy.
But what's it like to... What's it like to even outside of... Not necessarily outside of music, but outside of performing, to still be recognised as like a figure in especially indie music and promoting upcoming bands?
Well, it's nice because I don't ever try and be anyone except myself, and there's no like character or pretending with me. I'm just the person that I am, and if I'm going to be recognised to the point of being nominated for awards just for being me, then I think that's a very high amount of affirmation, which is the main thing that I crave. I just want everyone to like me, mate. Don't you?
Yeah, all the time. That's all I'm after.
Please like me.
I want to just sort of touch on this again. One of the things you've been pretty outspoken about is the importance of grassroots music and keeping live music accessible. There's been a lot of talk in the press and online recently about ticket prices being a little bit expensive, to put it shortly. Have you got any sort of thoughts on that at the moment?
I think the music industry as a whole is very broken. I'm not surprised that artists are putting ticket prices up if they're not making any money on recordings. Like where are artists going to make money? And the amount of different people you've got to pay and stuff. I don't know the solution. I just know that it's a broken industry at the moment, and I'm hoping that someone much smarter than me finds a way to make it work for everybody, including and especially even the music listeners and the music punters, because yeah, we don't want to be ripping them off, do we?
Very true. Coming towards sort of back end of this interview, obviously we just mentioned then about promoting some upcoming bands. Is there any bands you just want to, while we've got a chance, just give a shout out to, anyone you want to promote? Obviously you got the cover sets on tour.
Yeah, they're a great band. I mean, everybody that we've got on the opening slots of this tour, we've hand selected, and we just wanted to give bands the opportunity to play in these great venues to full rooms. All our fans come in early. You know, we were gifted those opportunities by the likes of Shed 7 and The Wonder Stuff and Frank Turner. And it's nice to be able to give back to a few bands. And it's something that I am very passionate to continue to do. Especially like working class bands. I think it's hard. It's hard to get your route into the music industry. And if there's anything I can do to help that, then I certainly will. But as for specifics, there's so many. I wouldn't even know where to start. I think we're in a very healthy time in grassroots music at the moment. We just need to get them bigger stages and money.
Yeah, I fully agree. I've got a couple of last questions here. What is the favourite show you've ever played as part of the Lottery Winners?
Oh, there's been so many. One that always springs to mind is playing the O2 Arena with Nickelback, just because it was the O2 Arena.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And I'm always really critical when I come off stage on myself, and I'm always like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or I could have done that better, and oh, I messed that up, and I went on for 9 minutes when I should have cut a song, or I vaped on stage, and there's a $3,000 fine. But when we came off stage at the O2 Arena, that was like, I was like, oh, no, 10 out of 10. I've got no criticisms there, Tommy. You've done amazingly well. And then I went straight to my travel lodge and wrote a song called Superpower, because that's how I felt. I felt like a superhero. So like, I was very inspired by that show.
Love it. What is your favourite song on the new album?
There's a song called Struggling that I really love. I love the sentiment behind it and what it means. There's a song called Keep On Keeping On, which kind of encapsulates the whole album. There's one called 3 Wishes. Oh man, the whole record is probably some of the best recorded music of all time. A lot of people are saying that as well, not just me.
On top of that, what is your favourite song you've ever released? If you have to nail it down to one that's never going to leave the live set, what's that one song?
I don't know, man. It changes depending on how I'm feeling. I'm proud of it all, honestly. I wouldn't let anything come out that I wasn't totally proud of. I think maybe Start Again is our anthem.
Yeah, I fully agree. And then last but not least, obviously we are coming sort of towards the end of the tour, I believe. After tonight, you've got one more show tomorrow. What's been the highlight so far?
Of the UK bit. And then we go straight over to Europe for 3 weeks. And then we release an album, which we'll be playing every day for. And then after that, we go straight into our outdoor tour. I think the next time I've even got a minute to have a poo is mid-April. And then straight after wiping, I'm back out on the road again.
Yeah, what's been the highlight of tour so far?
Of this tour, I really liked Leeds last night. I think every gig's been very different, which you kind of get with lottery winners shows. Like some of them have been more emotional. Like in London, I just uncontrollably cried, not in a cool way, for the whole gig, and everyone just felt awkward, and we had a lot of requests for refunds. We didn't. They all loved it.
If it makes you feel any better, I've cried watching the lottery winner set before, but like in the best way possible.
Yeah,
was Kendall calling last year?
I did it in an ugly way, like snotty, ugly way, where I just couldn't sing. But they've all been pretty. They've all been pretty good. Leeds last night was a highlight because we played at the big O2 Academy in Leeds, and we had played that as a support for so many bands. We'd done it with The One Stuff Sleeper, Shed 7 twice. I'm sure we did it with Frank Turner, we did it with the Raytons, and we did it with Tom Odell. So that was a lot of times being the bridesmaid and never the bride. But last night I was pretty bridal.
I think that is everything we have time for today. Thank you very much, Thom, for your time.